The Pac-12 Championship will close things out on a busy Saturday in college basketball. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRForum.com. MGM Grand Garden Arena here in the city of Las Vegas. This one tipping off at 11 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Of course, I'm talking about the Oregon Ducks versus the UCLA Bruins in the second meeting this year. Wins over Utah and Washington State to open up the Pac-12 tourney for the Oregon Ducks. They lead all teams with a plus 11 scoring margin. Both times they've won the semifinal in this event. They've gone on to win the final. Both of those wins coming against the USC Trojans. 76-67 victory in the first meeting this season as 5-point road underdogs at Pauley Pavilion. That one going under the total of 146.5. The real story, two of them, in fact, 37-28 rebounding edge, and UCLA star Shabazz Muhammad started that game on the bench due to disciplinary reasons of showing up late to a practice leading up to that crucial Pac-12 affair. He played only 28 minutes. 17-1 when scoring 70 or more points this season. It's definitely a doable feat against a UCLA Bruins team that has been defensively challenged at some points during the 2012-13 campaign. But before you lay the points, I figure Oregon's going to be established as a neutral site favorite in this game. 3-11-1. 3-11-1 their last 15 games against conference opponents against the spread. 1-5 ATS on a neutral floor. When you look at UCLA, they were riding a wave of momentum into this tournament. They've carried it over. They've won 7 of the last 8 games. They claimed the regular season title, something that Oregon should be quite upset about, as they should have grabbed the regular season title. Instead, UCLA took it away from them. 5-3 to the under during their recent 8-game span. Of course, they're coming off a 66-64 victory over the Arizona Wildcats as 4-point underdogs last night. Very surprised that they were listed as 4-point dogs in that game, given the fact that they won the first 2 regular season meetings, but it came at a price. They lost freshman guard Jordan Adams, arguably the second best player on the roster, averaging 15.3 points per game. He broke a bone in his foot in the last play of the game Friday night. Muhammad combined for 27 points in the first 2 games in the tournament. He's averaging 17.9 points per game on the season. And the Bruins are 12-1 when he scores 20-plus points in a game. And he's going to have the bright lights on him. He played his prep basketball here in Las Vegas. He's known around the community. And any locals that show up at the MGM Grand Arena are definitely going to have UCLA Bruins shirts on. Adams, Muhammad, and Kyle Anderson combined for 55.4% of the team's points this year, and also played 43.1% of the team's minutes before the Pac-12 tournament started. Howland, in a quote during a press conference last night, said his team is fighting through a bit of fatigue, maybe a little more fatigued without Adams on the floor. And point guard Larry Drew, he's going to have to be more offensive-minded. He landed the goose egg in the scoring column last night, but he does do a lot of things on the defensive end, and he does pilot the offense. He is one of the better passing point guards in the entire nation. I'm looking to potentially play the Ducks in the first half. I had to establish a handicapper line. No betting odds available in the market. I made the Oregon Ducks minus 3.5 neutral site favorites in this game. The Bruins have been favored in 9 of the previous 10 meetings in the series. Maybe a lot more than that, but that's as far as I could check back here early Saturday morning. So my recommendation is maybe to potentially play the Ducks in the first half, as UCLA's had to pick up 2 come from behind games in this tournament so far. And also the Ducks are going to be wanting to grab a bit of revenge. Even though they won the first regular season meeting, the Bruins stole that conference title away from them. So play the Oregon Ducks if they land as favorites of 3 or less in this game, while I suggest grabbing the points if UCLA lands as a neutral site underdog of 4 or higher. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRForum.com. Cut.